GOAT, or as I like to say, greatest of all time. Now, when you think of that phrase with the NBA, there's tons of players that can pop up in your mind. And the first person that really pops up into my mind will always be Michael Jordan. Now, people will say Bill Russell's the greatest, Oscar Robinson's the greatest, Kobe Bryant's the greatest. But the question is easy, has an easy answer. It's Michael Jordan. Now, I'm going to sit here and tell you why I believe he's the greatest. Even better than a lot of big arguments is the Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. Now that one is way too easy, and I'm going to really get into it and show you why I think Michael Jordan will always be better than LeBron James. The three things I'm really going to dive into today and look at are why he's better is, number one, finals record speaks for itself. Undefeated, 6-0. Easy one. Number two, the fact that he was able to dominate the way he did and step away because he was so bored of just domination and go play baseball for 2 years. And then, well, my love for basketball is very growing. I'm going to go back. And what did he do? Another three-peat. And number three, the clutch factor. I do not think we will ever see a player as clutch as we ever will Michael Jordan. Now, first off, when looking into Michael Jordan's finals record, he's 6-0 and never losing. When you look into LeBron's finals record, he's 3-6. Is that a coincidence? I think not. Michael Jordan has 6 finals MVPs. LeBron only has 3. 6 beats 3 always. Michael Jordan in the finals never, ever faced a Game 7. Now when we dig into this deeper and looking at his stats in the first 3 finals, they got better as each final went on. From averaging 31.2 points and a double-double with 11.4 assists a game. Then he went on to average 35.8 points a game and 6 assists and 8 rebounds. Near a triple-double in the finals. And then he even averaged a still NBA record 41 points per game in the NBA Finals. That speaks for itself. Each year the occasion got bigger and bigger, and he would show up to the occasion. And he just kept getting better and better. Now, the year before he retired and went to play with the Chicago White Sox AAA team, you look at LeBron's stats in his first 3 finals. And you see he got swept by the San Antonio Spurs. Michael Jordan, no. That would not happen in Michael Jordan, considering he never even faced a Game 7 in the finals. Now, when you look at his stats, he averaged 22 points a game, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. We're not hating on that, but is that anything special than what Michael was doing in the finals? I think not. Now, then it took him another 4 years to even reach the finals again. And when he did, he had to build his own super team, which Michael Jordan never ever would ever think about, but that's a discussion for a whole nother day, where he then lost again to the Dallas Mavericks. And he had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and you're telling me he lost to the Dallas Mavericks, where he then went down and only averaged 17 points and 7 rebounds a game. His stats from the finals, when the biggest moments arise, which is the finals, which is when you need to show up for your team because it's the biggest moment in the NBA year, he could not rise to the occasion like Michael Jordan once did. Now, if you don't think Michael's better after just looking at that, then just keep following with me here. So then finally, LeBron finally did, he won a championship the next year. Not that he didn't have Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh helping him, but he only had 28, 10, and 7, which is almost triple-double like Michael, but the way he was carrying the load like him, it's just, Michael just was outstanding. LeBron had so much help to even just finally get the one ring it took him, which we all give him credit for, but still, Michael Jordan, 3-0 to start, LeBron, 1-2. Now, another key factor to look into when comparing Michael versus LeBron is the fact that Jordan was just dominating the league so much. He had his first three-peat. The Bulls are rolling. They're winning 50 games a year. Going through the East, just killing it. Then finally, his dad had passed away, so he had a whole life-altering, changing moment in his life. So he decided to come up with, I'm going to try going after my father's first love, which is baseball. Which, no offense to him, I think I agree with it. He had a tough time in his life, but he came to this conclusion. So then he tried going after baseball. Now, after retiring, the Bulls didn't even make it to the finals for the next 2 years as he was gone. What does that show you? They couldn't even get past the second round without Michael. That's a testament to himself and the type of player he was and carried the way he did with the Bulls. So, that's another just fact to look at when you look at Michael Jordan. Then, he finally decided, a year and a half out, I love basketball. I don't think I want to do this anymore with baseball. So, he saw the Bulls were struggling. He decided to come out of retirement. They were 31-31 in March. That's when he returned. The big return. And he came out, carried them to the playoffs, and averaged 31.5 points a game after a year and a half off. If you don't think that's remarkable, then I don't know what is in sports. The fact that he could sit out, play baseball, not even be playing basketball, and still come back into the league and dominate like that, averaging 31.5 points a game. I'm sorry, but that's just not human-like. You won't see that. LeBron James could not pull that off. As evidence, he just hasn't thus far. So he does all that. They don't win the championship that year. They do fall short. But the year after, he comes back and takes the Bulls on another three-peat to add to his collection of 3 rings already. Now, the averages kept getting better as each finals went on yet again. Now, at this point, he's up in his mid-30s now at this point, too, as well in his career. Took a year and a half off. Now he's back. First finals, he averages 27 points per game, 5 rebounds and 5 assists, which was that's a very good stats final. Then brings up his point total because, I'm not scoring enough. I'm going to do more. 32 points per game with 7 rebounds and 6 assists. Biggest stage of the year. Does it again. Then, his last finals with the Bulls, he averages 32 points, 7 rebounds, 33 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Each year, the point total just kept getting higher and higher because he rose to the occasion and he loved the spotlight on him and loved being in the finals. As a basketball fan, if I was a GM, what would I want? And I would want Michael Jordan because he steps up when the moments arise because he wants to be on the biggest stage playing for that championship every single year. That's just Michael Jordan. The lights get brighter, he gets better. Then, even after this another three-peat, he retired again. So he became a president of operations for the Washington Wizards. What's he do? He does that for a couple of years. He's up to the age of 39. So he says, he's got his haters, and who still debate the type of player he is. He says, you know what? I'm going to come out of retirement just to show I can still ball out at 39 years old. And what does he do? He averages 22 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists at the age of a 39-year-old. 39 years old, and he's still playing well. He's young guns. I think that's pretty crazy right there in itself. And he's still the only 39-year-old to have a 50-point game and 5 40-point games in the NBA. The fact that you are seeing a player like that play at 39 years old is just crazy. There's no way you'll ever see that. 39 years old? It's father time right there. Now, don't get me wrong, Tom Brady's doing it right now, over 40. That's a completely different sport than basketball, no athleticism you need to have and the type of shooter you need to be. Each year, the NBA just gets harder and harder with more. It changes for each era. And the way Michael Jordan was able to just say, you know what, at 39 years old, I still want to prove everyone wrong and come out of retirement is just remarkable. Now, if you look at the whole picture, the numbers really back up Michael Jordan as the better player. Even though LeBron may have the better overall stats, whatever, stats are a little bit inflated nowadays. It's a little bit easier to put up triple doubles where it was. 3 points a lot easier now that you're shooting way more in this league. So, overall stats is what I'm not really looking into when I talk about Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Michael has more hard way to back him up, and he has willingness to win. His finals record just speaks for itself. And being able to still play at the highest level at 39 and 40 years old will always make Michael just one of the greatest of all time. He just did it all for the Bulls, and that's why I really believe he's still the GOAT and always will be. And lastly, I just want to get into Michael Jordan always came up big for his team when he needed them. He just always came up big when they needed him. If you needed the big shot, you knew 23 was getting the ball in his hand, and he was either going to make the game-winning shot or take it to the hole and score the game winner. That's just the type of player Michael Jordan was. Now, if you want to go in and look at percentages based off playoff game winners, when there was 24 seconds to go with Michael Jordan, he was 9 for 18, which equates to 50%, if you guys don't know that. When LeBron needed to shoot the game winner with 24 seconds left, he was 8 for 23, equates to 35%. Numbers speak for itself right there again. 80, 50, 35%. Come on, it's pretty easy. Now, when you want to keep looking into the clutch factor of Michael Jordan, there are also no other moments to look than Game 5 of the 1997 NBA Finals, or so-called known as the flu game, if you guys haven't seen that, which is pretty crazy. Michael Jordan came into the game, flu-like symptoms, could barely walk, still decided to play. Now, if you know the flu, you know you can barely get up and walk yourself, let alone go out and play 40 minutes on the NBA Finals stage. I think that's just crazy to me. Now, he was able to score 38 points and hit the game-winning shot. 38 points while having the flu is pretty remarkable in itself. I don't know how you could... They were down at one point 77 to 69. That's when the Bulls went on a 10-0 run with Michael Jordan scoring 7 of that 10 to then hit his own and have a three-pointer game winner to give Chicago the lead for the good. And that was it. Now, I've just pointed out to you why Michael Jordan. I've just given you enough backup, showing you everything, talked about why the stats back me up, which the biggest stage, NBA Finals, I think it's the most important in the NBA. 6-0, 6 Finals MVPs. I think that's always going to top. Just no one's ever going to top what he's done on the biggest stage. Now people say, okay, well, if you're only looking at finals, then why isn't Bill Russell the greatest? Bill Russell played in the era where there was only six to 8 teams. That's a big difference to what Michael Jordan was doing. If you just look and listen to what I've said to you and take it back, you'll realize that Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, and my stats and my knowledge and what I've brought to you prove that. Thank you for your time.